Junge Menschen sind das Fundament der Zukunft. Aber wie schafft man eine Zukunft in einem noch immer vom Krieg zerrütteten Land? In einer Gesellschaft, in der die Eltern noch Schaudergeschichten vom Feind erzählen. Ich bin durch Bosnien und Herzegowina gereist und habe mit jungen Menschen über Geschichte, Identität und Zukunft gesprochen. Ich lade Sie ein, mich auf meiner Reise zu begleiten und selbst ein Bild zu machen von einem Land voller Gegensätze und seiner Jugend. In der Hauptstadt Sarajevo beginnt meine Reise. Man nennt sie auch das Jerusalem Europas. Ein großer kultureller und geschichtlicher Schmelztiegel. Hier treffe ich mich mit einigen Aktivistinnen der Jugendorganisation Asubi, die landesweit Workshops und Aktionen zum gesellschaftlichen und politischen Zusammenleben mit und von Jugendlichen organisiert. Hören Sie doch selbst, was sie zu erzählen haben.
My name is Valera Blagovic. I'm 18 years old. I'm from a small town from the north of Bosnia, in Republic of Srpska, Madrid. But right now I'm in Sarajevo. So basically in the past 2 years I have like 2 homes, one in Madrid and one in Sarajevo.
I'm Arman. Do I just cite my Instagram bio? Maybe I could say that I'm a creative person from Sarajevo, because I'm 17.
Okay. My name is Emila Cengic. I'm almost 20 years old. I'm from Sarajevo. I finished my high school this year and I'm going to college in October this year here in Sarajevo. I'm staying.
My name is Iman. I'm an 18-year-old.
Hi, so I'm Dean. I'm 19 years old and I come from a pretty small city on the northwestern part of Bosnia. It's called Bosanski Petrovac, and currently I'm a volunteer for the German foundation SHL, Short Helfen Leben.
My name is Bilal Savkic. I live in Sarajevo. I finished high school this year, that is secondary school.
If you ask me what identity is,
Identity, that's, I don't know, the set of characteristics for someone.
All of these little pieces that make you who you are, but in a sense that all of your thoughts, all of your characteristics, all of your ideas, and all of your wishes and desires, all of those things are what makes you an individual.
For me, my identity is art, let's say, and for me art is like the biggest religion and the only religion I believe in.
That's me. That's who I am, and the things that I do or don't do, or my friends, family, and my opinions.
Perhaps I'm gonna make an analogy, you know, like a circle, and all of those things are what makes me me. So I would say 1/4 of who I am is basically a head, a creative head who's literally constantly trying to make something.
I'm someone who loves this country. That's my identity. I'm a person who loves traveling.
Apart from creating things, I feel like another part of my identity would be that I like positivity a lot. It's a characteristic, but I feel like making other people happy and just enjoying life is what makes me happy, and that's a huge part of who I am.
I identify myself as an activist, a volunteer, soon as a student, and I don't know, a citizen of Bosnia and Herzegovina.
And every identity is constantly it's a very fluid thing, so I can't be like oh, I am this and I will always be like this till the end of my life. So yeah, I mean, I'm a work in progress, so yeah, that's it.
My city is like half Muslim, half Serb, which is it's a really interesting place because like before the war, like everyone lived together, like it was all like brotherhood, unity, how they called it. And right now it's like in my city, it's still that, but you kind of have some tensions here and there where basically like the story that's going around is, yeah, we're all still together, but you shouldn't trust the other side. Like that's essentially the story that every nation tells to themselves.
I really don't care what's happened. Few years ago, I'm the child of 21st century, and I was born in the end of 20th century. So I really don't think that I have right to tell anyone how's my opinion about war, because I wasn't there, I wasn't saw that, and everything I can do and I want to do and I'm doing right now is to support all those victims and to understand them. But I just think that what's happened in the past should stay in the past.
I think the war, I mean, it doesn't have much influence on me because that's not the topic I think about a lot, but I just think of it as something that shouldn't happen, and I try to do everything that's opposite of that, like opposite of war, basically. Like it's a reminder of everything I do. Is it going to lead to that? No, then it's good, you know.
As for other influence it has had on my life, well, my parents were in the war, and since my mother and my father, they were pretty young during the war, so they got to see pretty much the worst of the world, let's call it like that, while they were like 14, 15. And it's definitely shaped the way they think and the way they raised me. However, the story that they tell me is ignore everything that ignore everything bad. Don't forget what happened in the past, but you have to learn you have to learn to live with some things, and you have to learn to tolerate.
Usually older people who went through the war say is that it was a good time to get to know people, to be together with people, to help people, and to stand together.
Like my whole family, they think of the war as the betrayal. They think they were betrayed by their neighbors, and they're scared for me when I hang out with people like that. Like, don't get too close; they can betray you. That's like. But I mean, in the past few years, because I did the opposite of that, like all my friends are Serbs and Croats and stuff, they became more tolerant through me. They became more open-minded. So yeah.
My mum was a bit younger than me when the war was kind of hitting this area, and when it was, when this was all, I'm going to call it war-stained, but it's still... she always talked about the experiences she had being like 12 and going to get some water for her house, and it was always kind of the most influential thing in her life, probably, because she was kind of forced to grow up a lot earlier than she was supposed to.
I mean, I have older brother, and he was really, really young. I think he was 3 or 4 years old. and they tell me stories, but some of them are funny stories. I mean, how they forget my brother, I don't know, in the apartment when they leave and he was sleeping and they forget him, or stories like that.
I just feel like my mum has had a much worse time when it comes to war in comparison to my dad, because he wasn't. I mean, my dad has had some, like, well, I'm not going to say funny stories, but he's literally stolen the Serbian uniform to go see his girlfriend in Belgrade during the war, which was the most brave thing I've ever heard in my life. But I guess he was really in love, so he literally he took like the Serbian passport from somewhere and he just traveled around being in that like army clothes, you know, and he was like going in that uniform looking for his girlfriend. And I think she even contacted him like after the war sometime, but I mean, of course it didn't work out. I mean, I'm here, so yeah, it didn't really work out.
Most of all, my parents tell me a lot about the people they've lost, not only physically by them dying, but also the people who were differently defined in the terms of nationality or religion, who left without saying goodbye for a different cause than the ones my parents saw, and fighting in the terms of trying to survive the 4 years right here.
My parents raised me as a child who, at the first place, always had to respect someone who are different than me. So first thing, and the most greatest thing I've learned in my life from my parents is to love and respect everyone, no matter if he is or she is like other skin color, other name, or whatever. It's only important to see a human in the human being. So I think that's the biggest message that I've ever earned from my parents.
I strongly believe that nothing similar to the war has to happen for our people to stand together. They only need a proper kind of, not a leader, but a person with an idea of how to motivate and how to put others in action in terms of changing what currently is not well enough. There, I just believe that they have to, like, I don't know, think about the stuff that's happening around us and figure out that there are a lot of things that could and should be changed, and start changing them.
I think change is something that has to be done by the youth.
We have bad economy, bad education. I mean, that's not something new, because every country has that. I mean, everyone has a problems, but they are trying to improve. Here, nobody's trying to improve.
There are people in some positions that they've been there for like 20 years, and there's nobody new who says, no, we're gonna try this differently. But I mean, they will be forced one day to leave those positions because everybody dies.
If you start to tell some positive stories, no one cares. No one cares if my best friend is Amila and I'm Valeria, you know. But if you say someone, Amila and Valeria are fighting, that's really, now it is interesting, you know. And that's how politics in Bosnia works. You know, you have to fight them, you have to make it really worse situation than it is now, so you have money.
They don't respect each other enough. I think that the politics have to change their attitude and they have to respect others. But the politicians, they don't have respect to each other, so and they are on the top, so that's a big problem.
There is a lot of hatred going on. I mean, it's not everywhere, but it looks like it's everywhere because they are saying that it's everywhere, but it's not everywhere. So we need a voice, and we don't have a voice.
Why just can we start to tell the story about our theaters, our music, our young people who actually brings good changes. And it really makes me feel nervous because we really have things that we should be really proud of it.
Poverty, that's one of the big things that makes people leave. You have families who don't have much money to live with, so the younger ones are forced to leave somewhere, or older people, and they just work in another state so they can feed their family here. That's one of the things.
Okay, so what's going wrong? Everything. What's good? I'm gonna say nothing. What's good is that it's slowly going to be phased out, hopefully with the newer generations, but the current structure of the country and like basically the way everything from politics to pretty much everything works is it's really forcing those national tensions. It's really forcing segregation.
Corruption, and I mean, those are all like topics on their own that are so large, but mostly politics is the main problem here because it's not just about ruling, it's in every part of society. Like, you can get a better job if you are in a political party, even if it has no like connection with the government, but it's like that.
I really love this town and this country, and I enjoy here. I mean, we have problems and we have so much bad things, but I have here family, friends. I don't know. I grew up here, and every part of town, every street has something means to me. I mean, everything that happens to me happens here. So it's really, for me, I can't imagine to just leave all of that and just go. I would like to have big family, and I have now big family, so when I grow up I want a lot of children and to have big family and everybody to be here.
I'm not gonna say that I see my future in Bosnia because I'm leaving Bosnia. I'm going to Germany. I'm gonna study there, and it's very likely that I'll stay there. But I pretty much see my future anywhere where people are normal.
I would like it to be in this country. I would love to stay here and create my future, but I think everybody would love that, but you are kind of forced to leave because education is better outside, the jobs are better outside, you have more opportunities outside.
Here is the really, really hard to make some progress if you really don't have big one to do it. And I just think that I don't have a really big one to change something here, because I already changing and I see whole those process, and I just want to be happy, and this country just don't give me that.
Ich fahre weiter mit einem Zug voller BackpackerInnen durch die dramatische Landschaft der Herzegowina. Die Stadt der alten Brücke, Mostar, soll mein Ziel sein. Hier tummeln sich Tagestouristen aus Kroatien und viel heiße, mediterrane Sonne. Auf der einen Seite der Stadt sieht man Moscheen, auf der anderen Kirchen, getrennt durch eine natürliche Barriere. Auf den ersten Blick ist Mostar eine Stadt voller alter Gebäude und einem dramatisch sich durch die Stadt windenden Fluss. Auf den zweiten Blick brennt die Sonne heiß, riecht der Fluss nach Fäkalien und die Touristenmengen lassen die Stadt anonym werden. So bist du mir, Mostar, nur ein Stopp wert. In dem schönen Ort Jajce, wo Vrbas und Pliva aufeinandertreffen, halte ich mich nur kurz auf. Es bleibt jedoch genug Zeit, um mich mit Nikolas zu treffen. Ein Mensch mit einer sehr aufgeklärten Sicht auf die Dinge. Er selbst musste schon in seiner Heimat gegen die ethnische Trennung seiner Schule kämpfen. Hören Sie selbst.
I'm Nicholas and I come from Guide. In general, I philosophize quite a lot, speak to myself, speak with my dogs, even though I call them cats because I always wanted cats, but yeah, speak with my doggy cats. And I'm fighting for human rights in every way I can. Well, I wasn't born during the war, but still it doesn't take you to be born during that period to understand what was happening and to understand what is still happening because of it. And well, what is still with me from the war? Well, I can see the annoyance. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand that people have lost, that people have fought, but actually everybody lost. I mean, it doesn't take you to be a mathematician to understand that people died. 7,000 people are a number, a statistic. One death is a tragedy, and everybody should look at it that. So the main point is that I'm quite even annoyed by like always these talks about how many have died, who is the true victim and all of it. It just gets repetitive and quite annoying. We have to pay double the taxes. We have 3 presidents who do actually nothing. So no effort in a little state. Unidentified number of criminals because it's always growing. And at the end, my true opinion is that it's truly corrupted and with no mean and no effort, with no work at all, just self-needing and self-wasting on money and resources. So yeah, the thing is that our democracy is nothing else than just tyranny with the fancy name of democracy. It's bad. Every student who is about to go to college should go out from this country to develop themselves in Germany, America, in Sweden, Switzerland, doesn't matter. They shall develop themselves as people, rise their knowledge, feed on the knowledge, accept every chance that they have, use every chance they have to express themselves by any things that they think that they can do. And then after they realize that unity is nothing else than just living together and being together, then after that they should come back to this country and try to redefine Bosnia as it once truly was. A country of unity, of multiple nations, multiple people, multiple religions living alongside, not being multi-ethnic but international. To be alongside, to define unity in a new form, in a country who desperately needs it. That's my plan. Well, that's what I think should be done. The people who are trying to develop themselves to fight for a better tomorrow in this country, who are willing to take a position like to be a president, I think that they can change the true form of this country, which is now in a very bad state. I think that they can do something about it. And I personally, well, I could be a professor or something, trying to teach the youth about the ways of good. And yeah, I mean, I will have a minor, actually, act.
Das Finale meiner Reise steht vor der Tür. Oder eher hinter einer für eine 70 Kilometer lange Strecke viel zu langer Busfahrt. Ich betrete seit meiner Anreise das erste Mal Boden der serbischen Republik Bosnien und Herzegowinas. Banja Luka erinnert mich auf eine Art und Weise an meine Heimat. Die zweitgrößte Stadt des Landes ist die erste, die ich hier betrete, die keine Narben des Krieges aufweist. Auf den ersten Blick zumindest. Hier gab es keine Granateneinschläge oder Sniper-Allies. Hier weht nicht mehr die Flagge Bosnien und Herzegowinas. Hier schreibt man nicht mehr mit lateinischen Buchstaben. Fast habe ich das Gefühl, die Landesgrenzen überschritten zu haben. Aber die Leute, die sind genauso freundlich, so herzlich, so voller guter Worte, wie ich es bis jetzt erleben durfte.
Okay, my name is Danilo Knežević and I'm from Banja Luka, Bosnia and Herzegovina. I'm 17 years old. I'm kind of an activist and wannabe musician.
So I am Anna Mirecki and I am ready to make changes, and that is the reason why I am a debater and an activist.
Identity is I really don't know how to define it. It's just you, everything you are trying to be, everything you love.
It's so simple, but it's so hard question.
I don't define myself as a citizen of Banja Luka or Serb, Croat, or Bosnian, whatever. I just think that crucial things are the things that I love, and when someone asks me who I am, I won't say I'm a Serb. I'll just tell them what do I like to do, what inspires me, and what's my passion. So I love music, I love traveling, I love hanging out with my friends, but I love to have some alone time. And I think that that's kind of enough to know what kind of person I am, the basics.
My parents, especially my dad, he really doesn't like to talk about war. So in our house, we really don't talk about it. So he just likes to talk about how pretty his childhood was, and he just wants me to realize that war is just one small part of his life, and it is not necessarily a thing that can ruin someone's life or some community.
My parents are kind of different than the most of parents, and they have the best point of view that you can have, and they taught me that I shouldn't hate anyone because of their religion or nation or anything. And they say that those people who are promoting hate and separating people, they say that they're full of crap, and I kind of agree with them, not just because they are my parents, because that's the common sense, Why would you wanna hear a word from a man that's trying to separate you and your friends? You don't want to hear it, you don't want to think about it, just common sense.
Well, when we are talking about our state, it is really confusing. It is confusing to us, people who live here, and I can't really imagine how it is for people who are out there and who are first time here, to people who never been here. Well, the thing I don't really like is that people are forcing us and telling the youth that they are in fight.
It just makes no sense. We have the number of people, citizens, here is in Bosnia and Herzegovina, the number of people is the same as one like middle-sized city in Europe, and we have like 2 presidents, 3 members of, like, I don't know how do you call that in English, but 3 people that lead the country, like that. 3 people have the role to be one president. I don't know, like one representative of every nation, and then you have 2 presidents who work with people, because those 3 that I was talking about before, they don't interact with people. They just go on meetings and stuff. And you have 2 presidents. One is the president of Republic of Srpska, and the other is a president of Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and they are like leading our country, parts of our country. And then you have District Brčko, which is like, I don't know what it is. Like, you have Federation, Republic, and that kind of city that is a district, and it's separated. It has its own government, but it doesn't have its own president. And in Federation, you have so much cantons. I don't know, it's just way too complicated. We have like 13 governments in one country.
Bad people and bad generation is leading our country, and the next generation is the key. And I truly believe that eventually back wheels will return to their place.
I want to have like wait time. I want to like spend my life doing the things I love, and I want to be a journalist because it's one of the most interesting jobs, like for me, because I can't imagine myself sitting in an office like 8 to 16, like standard work time here.
Well, when I say to people around me that I will change this place and that this place will be better, they usually laugh at me. But whatever I will do in the future, that will for sure be my goal.
But if nothing comes out of all that, I still think I could do fine, because I can make every situation nice. Like, I can just sit here for the rest of my life, and I think I would be fine if I have like a pack of cigarettes and like some friends coming over time to time, and like the view is beautiful, you know, there's a river, there's a castle, nature, I don't know. I'm sure I'm gonna spend my life the way I should